What's going on, guys, and welcome to another tutorial video. My name's Caleb, and today I'm going to be giving you a step-by-step walkthrough on how to create a Linode virtual machine in the cloud. On that machine, you can deploy whatever application you like, and this will get you started in building cloud infrastructure. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to do is establish an account with Linode, and then we are going to deploy a Linode virtual machine. So I'm logged in with an account that does not have any association with Linode yet, and I'm going to walk through the whole process to get the account set up. So I'm just going to sign up with Google. This is linode.com, by the way. You just go straight to linode.com. I'm going to type in my username. And my phone number. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this cookies pop-up. Asking for my verification code. Now it is going to ask you to set up some sort of payment form so that once your trial expires, they have some source of funding to fall back to. I'm going to go ahead and enter in my information here. Okay, now that I've configured a payment method, I'm going to go to the Cloud Manager. And the first thing that's going to take us to is a place where we can create a Linode. I'm going to click on Create Linode. First thing you're going to want to do is select your region. I'm going to want US East. You get to select pre-built images that you can deploy from. There's a whole bunch of options in here, and depending on what your application is going to be or what you're most comfortable with. I'm going to use Ubuntu 24.04 LTS. That's the long-term support image. Then it's going to give you options on what type of CPU you want, what type of memory, and you can see that there's different options here for dedicated compute. You can also go over to shared compute. These are called, the smallest one at least is a Linode. It's very cheap. You get 1 CPU, 25 gigs of storage, 1 gig of RAM, 1 terabyte of transfer per month, and then 40 gigs of data in and 1 gig of data out. That's the speed. So depending on your application or your use case, you may want to look into this, how much you're willing to spend. If you need high memory for an application, you can pick templated Linodes that have a high amount of memory. If you need GPUs, you can look at that, and then premium CPUs as well, but you need a premium plan for that. Right now we're on a free plan, just for an example. So I'm going to select this Linode. I'm going to scroll down. We have to give it a label. We're going to label it Ubuntu-Docker. We're going to tag it with Docker. We're going to give it a root password. This is going to be the password that we use to log into the Linode via SSH once the deployment is complete. You also have the option to use an SSH key, so if you want to log in using PKI or a public key infrastructure, you can do that. I'm not going to cover that at the moment. You can also assign a firewall. A firewall has to be created separately with all of the policies included within it, and then that firewall can be applied to various Linodes. So you can set up kind of a template that you're comfortable with, and then use that and apply it to multiple Linodes. You can also add a backup feature. This is actually pretty helpful if you have a production application that's going to be deployed here. They will take snapshots on a regular basis. That way, if you do an application update and something crashes or stops working, you can roll back to a known good configuration. If you plan on load balancing, you can also get a private IP. This will allow your Linode to be reachable within a virtual private network. And then the load balancer will have the public IP for load balancing purposes. We're going to just expose this one directly to the internet. And we're going to go down to the bottom right and click Create Linode. So right off the bat, it's going to bring us to a page. You can see up at the top it says Provisioning. It's going to give us a summary of the resources that are available on this Linode. It's also going to show the public IP address where this Linode can be reached. The public IP, it gives you one in IPv4. It also gives you the IPv6 IP address. If you go down a little bit further, it shows you that you can SSH into this machine using this syntax in PowerShell or in whatever your favorite SSH terminal is. And then you can also console into it using Lish, which is there's a little button right up here on the top right that says Launch Lish Console. What that'll do is open another window that will SSH directly to this box, and you'll be able to log in. You can see now provisioning is complete and it's booting the machine. If we scroll down, we can see analytics. The machine obviously was just created, so there hasn't been any CPU or memory usage. These tabs will show you the usages that this Linode has consumed. It includes a storage tab. You can see how much space you have and how much is available. Various other configurations, backups. If we had configured backups, they would be listed here. And this is where we would be able to restore a snapshot if we needed to. Activity feed. This is going to show you when somebody logs in as root, if any of the disks are modified, if the machine gets shut down or restarted or anything like that, you'll have a running list of activity that's taking place on this Linode. And then in the settings tab, you can modify the label that's applied to this Linode. You can reset the root password, and you can also set various notification thresholds so that if your CPU exceeds 90%, you'll get a notification that your Linode is being a little overtaxed. If we go back to the main Linode page, you'll see that we now do have a Linode box running, and it shows us the public IP address here. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to open up PuTTY, and I'm going to SSH into this Linode. So I'm just putting the public IP address in there with the standard port 22 for SSH, and I'm going to open the terminal. The first thing it's going to do is pop up and ask if I want to accept this fingerprint as a known source. Now this was just created. I doubt that there's any man in the middle. Obviously a good security practice would be to always verify that. In order to verify that though, you would have to log into the Linode to see what the SSH fingerprint is, and then you would have to verify it just to make sure that there's not a man in the middle attack happening. So I'm going to log in as root with the root password that I configured when I set up the machine. And as you can see, I'm now logged into my cloud instance of Linode. It's going to show me by default on the login what the system load is, memory usage, etc. It's going to give me the public and private IP address. And from here, I have a blank, ready to go Cloud Ubuntu install that I can deploy applications to. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to configure Docker from scratch on this Linode. It's a brand new Linode. I plan on using this for Docker applications, and I'm going to expose some of those applications to the internet. I do want to take a moment to say thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss out on future content. If you have any ideas or requests for content on other technologies or other systems that you'd like me to cover, please drop a comment down below and I'd be more than happy to do a tutorial just for you. Thank you and God bless.